Story 1. All depends on how she responds. If she is outgoing and flirty and doesn't clearly indicate that she is taken, then for me it's a red flag. Everyone's different. I've had girlfriends who were attractive and very respectful. I've also had girlfriends who made inappropriate jokes with others, and I ended the relationship because it's not worth it. Story 2. Not dating anyone currently, but I have dated all sorts of attractive girls in the past. It's really a non-issue as long as she responds appropriately to the attention. Story 3. I used to get insecure at parties because she was constantly approached. She told me, "Just think about who I am going home with and watch these people strike out." It helped me a lot. She would always turn them down immediately and sometimes throw me a sneaky smile to let me know, "I am yours." Since then, I have gotten much more secure and do not care. I am even proud to have a partner that is desired by many but is committed to me. Story 4. My most recent ex-girlfriend is ridiculously attractive, and she handled most encounters well on her own. The only thing I didn't like is that she believed male friends wanted to actually be friends, and that was irritating when the truth was obvious. Story 5. My significant other is absolutely gorgeous, more charming than most, and most attractive. She doesn't really know it herself. My worth isn't based on how attractive my significant other is, which in turn also means my worth isn't based on her faithfulness or not. Her being with me, continuously choosing me over other men, is based on almost 0% of my jealousy or control of her actions. I try my best to give her what she needs, and trust that in a moment where a choice is presented, she remembers we built a life together. Hopefully that means enough until the end of our days. Story 6. I enjoy myself. She is coming home with me. If she is not coming home with me, then that ship sailed before she even talked to anyone. It is a much better look to just roll with it and be cool. Getting all bothered and pounding your chest is not a very good look. Story 7. You either trust her or you do not. If you do, there is nothing to worry about, and you can enjoy the ego massage that comes with other guys knowing how great your girl looks. If you do not trust her, then there is nothing to worry about since you do not need to be in a relationship with her anyway. My fiancée gets hit on all the time. The ring on her finger does not even slow them down. She stops them dead in their tracks, though. She tells me about the funnier ones. She does not tell me all of them, or we would never talk about anything else. Story 8. They're supposed to look. If you find her attractive, of course, other people will too. But if she's encouraging it or flirting back in your presence, then you have a decision to make. You can see it as a game and not trip, or if you don't like it, speak up. If you're not on the same page on that, maybe you two aren't a good match. Story 9, you just have to have trust in her because ultimately, if someone wants to cheat, they are going to, whether or not they are attractive. In fact, I have noticed that less attractive women cheat more because they crave sexual validation the most. My current girlfriend is insanely attractive, and she gets hit on pretty much every time she leaves the house. But she lets me know every time a man tries to hit on her and immediately shows them a picture of me. She is very clingy in a good way and is all about me, so that helps. I hate that men hit on her, but there is only so much I can do. Story 10. It's a nice ego boost for a man if his partner is attractive and others acknowledge it. However, it is a true test of a person's loyalty when they have several options and they pick you. If she is flirting back, then she is free to be that way but without me there. No noise, no drama, you do you. Story 11. Currently single, but very average looking. Somehow, I always get a girl who's too attractive for me, and the attention is constant. If you let it, it will consume you. It was a huge problem for me until I understood that the key is to project confidence, trust your relationship, and understand that she clearly has options and continually chooses you over them, which should boost your confidence. Also, make sure you give her plenty of exceptional, extremely thorough affection, and she won't care how attractive others are. Story 12. Used to be jealous. Now I love it. I trust my wife fully, so I'm not worried. It makes me feel almost powerful when I see other guys look at her or even try to flirt or strike up a conversation. It's like, go ahead, my guy. Enjoy it because she's coming home with me later. Story 13. Becoming jealous, punishing her for existing, and forbidding her from having friends all work out great. Story 14. Make her invest in the relationship as well. People value things they invest in. One time, a girl at the bar bought me a beer. Then another guy started talking to her. I just stood there and waited and seriously didn't care because she was the one who invested, so it's her loss. She later came back to me. So if your girlfriend pays for dinner sometimes, not always, it would be foolish for her to run off and cheat with another man. And if she does, it's her loss. That's how I view it personally. I am more mentally relaxed about losing something I didn't invest too much in. Story 15. Don't really care, we work together and I see it all day long. She respects me and is extremely honest. Previously, it's been a huge issue with other girls because they were not trustworthy. Finally caught one that isn't, that's all. Story 16. I have heard about several of these crumb bums, and although I have never met them, I get tired of the stories from her, and that's both women and men. I can't say I feel any sense of jealousy, more anger. I can understand why they are trying to chat her up. She's really friendly, dresses well, and people like her. Maybe they assume she is single? It's bound to happen every so often. Story 17. Self-confidence and trust. You have to know that if they want to cheat, they will, no matter what you do, and being insecure will only push them that way. You either trust them or you don't. Story 18. The best way to deal with it is to just have the confidence in front of her that you know you got her first and just let it play out. If she's looking for attention, you got your answer, but a woman that is locked in with you will not entertain them. Story 19. This thread is fantastic. My wife is just stunning. How do I deal with her getting attention? I watch and laugh as she expresses absolute horror and disgust that some wretched human dares to speak to her, much less hit on her. My God, she hates most people. Meanwhile, she would risk her life daily to save some poor, helpless random animal. God, I love her so much. She is a crazy person. Anyway, story 20. My ex used to deal with this quite well, but the one thing I was worried about was some men who would just outright stare at her in public, even when she was walking hand in hand with me. It does make me think about what kind of advances she would have received from the same men had she been alone. Story 21. I trust and respect her. She can look after herself, and I know she loves me. We met when we were young, working in bars. She speaks French. She's very attractive. Working in a bar means flirting quite a bit. You can't be insecure in a relationship like that. We don't flirt with others now, but we've established a really secure trust in each other. Neither of us gets jealous. I remember being an insecure young man before meeting her. It's a horrible feeling. We really helped each other grow. Story 22. If you have $1 million, you are going to have $1 million problems. If you want a hot girlfriend, it comes with the territory. If you cannot handle it, someone else will. You have to be secure that she is with you. Personally, I turn it into a little game where I am lending out my hot girlfriend's attention to other men who cannot have her, and that makes me feel like a boss. It does objectify her in a trophy girlfriend kind of way, but there are few ways to psychologically deal with the objectifying fact of her attractiveness. But at the end of the day, it really is about her. How does she handle the attention? If she is not aware of these dynamics, then things can be rough for sure. The one thing I will say is that dating hot women is a bit of a paradox. If you are insecure, that is when she pushes the boundaries the most. If you are really secure, she tends to respect that and want to hold on to it, and so does not push those boundaries. Story 23. I think any man should handle it gracefully and be proud of having an attractive girlfriend. Honestly, dude, just be the man and think, yeah, that's right, my girl is hot. But all of this means nothing if your girl will step out on you. As long as you know your girl would never, ever, and she doesn't. No man can ever make a woman do anything. It's really the woman who decides what she is going to do. Story 24. I laugh about it, and if I catch guys looking from across the room, I try to make eye contact with them, not to be intimidating or anything, just to let them know I see them. I usually see more guys checking her out than she does when we go out, and honestly, I love it. It makes me feel so good. She's out with me on my arm. Everyone else in the world can look and say hi. I know darn well she's coming home with me and sleeping in my arms at the end of the night. So why should I be insecure about others appreciating her beauty? Story 25. I'm married to a very attractive woman and have always dated attractive women. I've always thought if you're not comfortable enough with yourself, you shouldn't have a hot significant other. It's too much seeing them get hit on or checked out all the time if you're insecure. I love seeing it because I trust my wife, and it makes both of us feel good. I have a hot wife that's coming home with me. You can look all you want. It's a compliment, and that's how I choose to take it. I see too many insecure guys that don't know how to deal with it. Story 26. It's been a while, but I do have a fun story. Once, my fairly new girlfriend and I went to an outdoor concert. We had to walk through the crowd together. She said something like, "Walk close behind me." At first, I didn't get it, but it became obvious quickly. I wasn't the only one to appreciate her presence. In fact, everyone did. Men and women. She drew attention from everyone around. Not so much a story of a hot girlfriend, but a story of a girlfriend whose presence everyone noticed. Story 27. Seeing how she reacts and what lengths she goes to keep you from catching a glance of her phone. I ignored some things in previous relationships that I shouldn't have. Story 28. Trust and loyalty. I feel pretty confident that I treat her better than almost anyone else would be able to. And I feel the same about her. We're still crazy about each other after 12 years. She's just incredible and I lucked out so incredibly hard. Story 29. I once dated a very pretty girl who was playful, fun, and flirty by nature, just a great person to be around. One day, one of our coworkers asked why I never made a move even though she was obviously flirting with me. I honestly didn't notice. She was well out of my league. I just thought she was nice for treating me the same as how she treated the good-looking guys at work. I was obese and never told I'm handsome outside of a relationship. In addition to my telling them I didn't think she was flirting, I also said that our personalities didn't match and I'd be too jealous watching her flirtily interact with anyone. Long story short, we dated for a couple of months. She dumped me because I wanted a serious relationship and she wanted something more casual. It wasn't my jealousy that broke us up, but I'm sure it would have eventually. She and I were not meant to be together. Story 30. I do not. My beautiful wife happens to be an introverted bundle of social anxiety, and she likes to stay home away from human interaction. She's self-contained. However, she knows how to handle herself in the rare occasions she gets approached. Story 31. Depends on how they respond to the attention. I know two girlfriends I've had were honestly never aware of how much they get checked out by men. They weren't doing anything to draw the attention besides existing. The only rule I've had is I expect them to shut it down when someone tries to talk to them. If I have to step in and I know it could have been shut down, then there's a more serious conversation we're having. Story 32. It's nice, isn't it? Seeing other people desire her while knowing you are the one she chooses to be with despite being able to get a new boyfriend super easily. It's a lovely little ego boost when it happens, because I fully trust her and our relationship. Story 33. My wife is ridiculously attractive, so I deal with this on a regular basis. When we walk into a store and all the guys turn to look, most of the time she doesn't even notice, so it doesn't bother me at all. If anything, it's amusing when another guy's girlfriend catches them staring. The rest of the time, it's mostly just guys making overt sexual advances. If she posts a picture online, even if it's her in work clothes, her direct messages flood with guys she doesn't know. The same thing happens if she goes out. She went to Home Depot the other day, and one guy offered to leave work to help her with her project. We were insulating the addition to our house, something I doubt he'd be helping with, and left a note on her car from some other guy who had watched her in the parking lot. Those times used to amuse me, but now they kind of upset me. Not because I feel threatened at all or anything like that, but because now she doesn't go out alone as much. For example, she loves playing pool and likes to go out to play, but the second she's at a bar and bends forward to take a shot, there are guys swarming her, even when she's out with friends. My solution was to put a pool table in our basement, but it still upsets me that she can't enjoy things normally. Even her dentist, she's a bit younger than me, and he was being flirty and asked, "So I see your dad brought you in today." She shrugs it off, but I've started to see why some girls complain about guys not knowing when the right time is. Story 34. She handles situations with guys just fine. I trust her with that. But the women, they just won't stop. Women don't even care if I'm there or not. They'll go right up to her and strike up a conversation, calling her beautiful, gorgeous, biting their lip, pushing hard for a response from her. At this point, I either have to stand between them or just get her out of places as soon as possible. Story 35. I don't really deal with it because I know my wife. She's the most loyal person on this planet. She also has a truly terrifying resting face. Even when guys try to engage with her, she dismisses them because, in her words, forget them. When she was a waitress, she wore super tight pants, and with her super big figure, she looked amazing. She would flirt back with some of the guys for tips. Now she's a department manager at our local grocery store and rarely interacts with customers. Her staff is all Generation Z, and she complains about them constantly because they have no hustle. She also says they're all children in their early 20s, while she and I are in our 30s.